Hi and welcome to the Monday Live. Unusually we are broadcasting on a bank holiday, and the reason for that is that next Monday I'm away, so I'm swapping. So I'm doing the Monday Live today, but not the Monday Live next Monday. The Monday after that I am back from the cruise. I don't want to think about it like that. There's a few people who are coming on the cruise listening, and they're probably thinking he's already talking about the end of the cruise, but that's by the by. So yes, tomorrow morning off to Southampton, and then we go down to Spain and onwards. Yeah, it's exciting times, I think. Or is it Portugal first? Alan will tell you. But a good crowd we've got. It should be nice and good fun. We'll get some hands. Hopefully we'll port back. Hopefully have some minor suit slams, because that is where we are. We are Slam-A, and it's not an easy Slam-A though, because we're going to try and bid minor suit slams. And actually today I'm going to mention a couple of the ones we had in the teams, and I might even use one in 2 weeks time as well, because we've been lucky enough to really have some nice minor suit slams, I must admit, and not always easy to bid. And actually what's rather nice is the three that I happened to bid, and me and Pete happened to bid over the previous 2 weeks, we gained on every one, and that's not that much of a surprise. Our opponents actually in the prize teams managed to bid one against us, and our teammates didn't make, so they made. So interestingly, the last 4 minor suit slams essentially have gained, and that's not that much of a surprise. Playing pairs is always that problem of working out, once you've bid the slam, should you be in 6 no trumps or 6 diamonds. That's tricky. With teams, as I'll mention throughout, it's slightly easier. So Slam-A, yes. Do send in your hands, please do, whether just normal slams as well, but minor suit slams particularly. And you know, set yourself a goal when you play in Slam-A. Try and just bid more slams. Don't worry so much about going down on them, you know, because I generally find the only way you can learn, it's rather like doubling, the only way you can really learn is by doing it and then trying to move backwards from there. So bid more slams and then try to work out which ones are wrong, because otherwise I don't feel you get the feel. With doubling, I feel it's the same. Double, 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 double. You get 2 of them wrong, 3 of them right. It's okay. But if you can iron out the ones that are wrong by isolating them, having done them, that's where you learn, I find. And you can maybe turn it into 4-1 rather than 3-2. Of course, it might be the other way around when we start. If we just double, 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 it might be 2 and then 3, but as long as we can turn it around. So yes, so I'm going to, we've got the usual suspects today, so we'll have the hangover hand from Friday, we'll have the bidding quiz at the end, and we'll have the seminar in the centre. In terms of the events, etc., that we're looking at, we've got the Denham ones, and in fact I think I'm at Denham in June, which will be fun. I was there a couple of weeks ago, really lovely actually. It was all right. By that I mean, you know, so they always get the bridge facilities right, but the food, etc., was good, and so that was nice. And abroad, we've got Malta, which I enjoyed about 2 months ago. Just a reminder also, exciting times are ahead. Exciting times are ahead, in the sense that we will have a little bit more control. Well, not a little bit more control, a lot more control over what we're doing in the future. So 2026 is on its way. So please bear with us. Of course, you can see the UK and Britain as a whole. Those events have been launched for 2026. In fact, you can get a special on them now if you book them really early. But in terms of holidays abroad, we're expecting to launch those any moment now, and that's because we will be our own tour operator. We're going to be in charge of it, and I think that's an exciting thing. So look out for that when they come, and as you can imagine, I will be launching them live with you as well. So where am I going? Well, what I usually do is go over here, isn't it? So let's go there. Okay, so this was an interesting one because it didn't feel like a 5-level decision. 2 hearts, 2 spades. And maybe I'm asking you to predict what's going to happen, etc., etc. But that's all it was. 2 hearts, 2 spades, and it was your bid. All right, so that's the one I wanted you to ponder. And obviously I'll let you ponder it again. And then we'll look at it after the little seminar. 2 hearts from partner, 2 spades. We are non-vulnerable, they are vulnerable. We are non-vulnerable, they are vulnerable. Okay. There's a certain amount of partnership trust involved there as well. We'll see. Okay, let's look at minor suit slams then. So, as usual, what I'll do here is usually trot out the start of the seminar because we're introducing the topic. And the major element with minor suit slams is they're hard to bid because we're not always interested in minor suit fits. Okay, we're not always interested in minor suit fits because our first job is to see if we've got a major fit. So you open 1 diamond, I've got a fit with you, but my first job is not to tell you that. My first job is to explore a possible major suit fit if I've got a long major. So that's the first lie we tell. Quite often, playing in a major, it goes 1 heart, 3 hearts, or even 1 heart, 2 no trumps if you play the Jacobi. You agree it straight away, you're into slam investigation already. Whereas with a minor, it can take a long time to even agree the minor, let alone explore for a slam. Okay, so before you agree a minor, you're going to be thinking about the majors, okay? And worse than that, it gets worse. Yes, it does indeed, because when you agree the minor, your first job, almost always, this is playing pairs, is to look for a no trump contract. So it goes 1 diamond, 3 diamonds, and you're thinking, oh, should we be in no trumps or not? Whereas if it goes 1 spade, 3 spades, you're basically thinking, oh, shall I cube it or shall I just settle the game? You're thinking spades. But in minors, 1 diamond, 3 diamonds, any bid below 3 no trumps has got nothing to do with slammer at all. It's thinking about no trumps. So really, really different mindset when you're in the minors. Okay, so I mean, let's just put that across to you. So 1 club from partner. Clearly, this hand is excited about playing in clubs. But before we commit to playing in clubs, we should mention we've got 4 hearts. Because if we happen to have a double fit, i.e. partner's got clubs and hearts, then we would prefer to be in hearts. Okay, and yet it's a 7 loser hand in clubs. Now, it's aceless, so you should be downgrading a bit from that. But it is a nice hand, so I'm thinking of game. Okay, so you bid your major first, and of course, if partner happens to have the major, we finish in 4 hearts. Now, if the ace of diamonds is in the north hand, you'll make both 5 clubs and 4 hearts. But the point is 4 hearts will be worth more. Okay, now, furthermore, if south has the ace of diamonds, you might not even make 5 clubs. So we're changing the auction. You know, if you change the clubs and hearts around and we had 5 hearts and we open 1 heart, it would go 1 heart, possibly even a splinter from east. Okay, so if it would go 1 heart, splinter, looking for a slam, and we'd settle in 4 hearts. Okay, and that's what's crazy. Very, very different. Okay, so here it would go 3 hearts, 4 hearts. Okay, and the same's going to happen here. We've got a fantastic diamond fit here. Fantastic diamond fit, but look at the auction. It goes 1 club, 1 diamond, and just 2 diamonds from west. It's 12 points in a singleton, but it's a 7 loser hand. I think in a major you might jump. You decide just to bid 2 diamonds though, because you're not so excited about a diamond fit. So you don't want to go too high here. If partner's only got a minimum hand with diamonds, you might not even want to be in game. Okay. However, East is sitting with 14 points. He wants to be in game at least. If his diamonds were a major, he'd think, oh great, we've got a major suit fit, let's go for it, maybe even investigate a slam. Here though, his job is different. We've bid clubs and diamonds. I've got hearts stopped. If my partner can stop spades as well, no trumps is surely the best contract. So we we bid suits as stoppers. We're not even trying for slams. So two hearts is actually actively trying not to play in diamonds. It's saying, partner, I've got a heart stopped. You can listen to the auction. What are we missing? If you've got a stopper in the unbid suit, please bid 3 no trumps. Okay, notice when there's 2 unbid suits, you bid what you've got. If there's only 1 unbid suit, you bid no trumps if you've got that covered. You bid that fourth suit forcing, as it were, if you haven't got cover. Does that make sense? So 2 suits are missing here, hearts and spades. So hearts simply says, I've got hearts. Okay, and it allows your partner then to define. Partner bids 2 no trumps, and this is why he kept the auction low, because he's got a minimum hand now. Can you see that? He's looking at a relatively minimum hand. If he's not playing in diamonds, West has not got that extra 3 points for a singleton, so he's just got 12 points. So he's glad he hasn't exaggerated his hand. Can you see what I mean? And of course now East is going to settle for 3 no trumps. Okay, and as you can see, 9 top tricks there. So it's easy enough. If they lead spades, you make a 10th. Interestingly, once again, 5 diamonds looks fantastic, etc. But if they take a couple of spades off the top, you have to lose a club as well later, because the ace, king, queen of hearts, unfortunately, only allow you to discard the 5th and the 4th heart, for 5th and 4th club. So you might not even make 5 clubs here. Okay, 5 diamonds, I should say. You certainly won't make 5 clubs. Okay, so once we've got over those hurdles, how do we bid minor suit slams? Well, the most important thing in a way for me is, if we are inclined to play in a minor, if one person makes the effort to say, yes, let's play in a minor, take it seriously. Okay, so that comes up in a number of ways. Okay, but it isn't easy, and we tend to be reluctant. Generally, a slam invite is going to take you past 3 no trumps. And playing pairs, that can be disastrous. So if you say, okay, I'm willing to commit to 4 diamonds, 5 diamonds making may well be a bottom. Won't always, sometimes it'll be a top. They can't make 3 no trumps. But if 3 no trumps makes +1 and you make 5 diamonds, you get a bottom. 400 for you, 430 for them. I know it's only 30 points, but that's the game. Playing teams, you've got more flexibility, okay? But playing pairs, it is a disaster. So that's why we focus so much on it. So the most fundamental thing for me, and it's, funnily enough, it came up 3 times in the last 3 teams events we've had. When a player bids past 3 no trumps, take them seriously. Okay, so if I am playing pairs with you and you bid 3 no trumps, I trust you. You're saying you can make it, but I still bid 4 clubs. I need you to trust me. I am saying, partner, thanks for suggesting 3 no trumps. I'm happy with that, but I fully believe that playing in clubs may well be best. And as I say in the Big Slam, as a partnership, work out when you think 4 no trumps should still be available as a natural bid. So again, this is playing pairs, remember. Playing teams, you wouldn't have it as a natural bid. Once you've bid 4 clubs, you're committed to 5 clubs or more, and you don't mind being in 5 clubs, because the odd 10 or 20 or 30 points doesn't matter so much. Playing pairs, if one person says, no, take me seriously, I've got an amazing hand, and the other one can then go back to 4 no trumps saying, partner, I've listened, I've put you with a huge hand, but I still think 4 no trumps is better. You know, a no trump contract is better. So the things that I discuss in the big seminar are the ace asking bids, whether we need to change those. 4th suit forcing. Now I'm going to look at that a little bit more next week. No, in 2 weeks' time. Remember, next week we're not on. In 2 weeks' time, we're going to look at that a bit closer. Okay. Okay. But it comes up, obviously. It's a really important tactic. Bidding 4th suit forcing, then supporting a minor shows a strong hand. Q bidding below and above 3 no trumps. Q bidding below is generally trying for no trumps. But if you then continue on after, clearly your previous bid can be considered as a Q bid. Okay, so if you're not looking for no trumps, but you start with 3 hearts, your partner thinks you're looking for no trumps, bid 3 no trumps. But if you then carry on, hopefully he gets what you're trying to do. Dealing with strong minor opening hands is an interesting topic, and because obviously those are a lot of the hands that we get to minor suits. Do we open one or do we open with a 2 bid? Remember, if you open with a 2 bid, you rebid at the 3 level for your first natural bid. So you've got to have a really strong hand. And I think a sensible rule to have, it doesn't always work, but a sensible rule to have is in a non-competitive auction. So in constructive bidding, you and your partner are bidding by yourself. Don't pass 4 of a minor. Okay, the idea being that if your partner bids 4 over the level of 3 no trumps, what he's trying to do is give you the chance to Q bid or investigate slam. Okay, and you've got to be able to trust each other that it's not going to be passed. Okay, so it's an unusual bid, bidding 4 of a minor, and I want you to take it seriously. And what it means is that when I support a minor up to 4 diamonds, I'm hoping that it's inviting you to show me more. Because it's very rare we're going to bid to 4 of a minor unless we're strong anyway. Okay, so let's look at 2 hands, the 2 hands that came up in the teams, and just see how we feel about them. So here your partner opens a diamond. As usual here, you're not interested in supporting diamonds yet. South passes and you bid a heart. North bids a spade now, which is interesting. Goes 2 clubs, 2 spades. Now those are the only 2 opposition bids you have. Okay, and I think you've got a nice and easy bid here. You have got 16 points, but to be honest, it feels that 3 no trumps is right. Notice if the diamonds were a major, you'd be all over playing in a major. But here, I would feel that 3 no trumps is reasonable. I mean, it's a pretty good hand for playing in a diamonds with 16, ace of partners second suit. So it's a pretty good hand. But I think 3 no trumps is reasonable. Certainly playing pairs. I mean, you might consider something else playing teams because with 4 key cards, it's quite exciting. Anyway, what's interesting is that didn't end the auction. It went 4 clubs. Now, this is really important here because it's all about partnership trust. As far as I'm concerned, 3 no trumps ends the auction unless East has a spectacular hand. Okay, unless East has a spectacular hand. Now 5-5 doesn't strike me as spectacular enough, and that's what I'd say to you. When I bid a diamond followed by 2 clubs, remember, another important aspect of this auction is that 2 clubs was not a required bid, it was a free bid as it were. 1 spade had been overcalled, so East did not need to bid again. Usually, if it goes 1 diamond pass, 1 heart pass, East has to bid again. East has made a free bid. He did not have to bid again. So the point here is that I'm almost thinking that 1 diamond followed by 2 clubs is often going to be 5-5, or it should have a very good reason for bidding again. So when Ace bids 4 clubs, what are you expecting? I mean, could it be void 5-5 and then 3? No, because I think you'd probably bid 4 hearts possibly in this auction if you had 3 cards in hearts. For me, most of the time this is 6-5. Most of the time it's 6-5, but the key here at this point, West is looking at 4 key cards. So clearly West is going to choose to play in diamonds. He's looking at 3 aces and the king of trumps. So the minimum West should be bidding here is 6 diamonds, and actually it was P2 who bid 7. I have to say, if my partner would bid the way, and as it happens 7 would have made, but it's not such a good one. It's not, you're missing the queen of trumps, but I would have thought the most likely hand my partner has got here is ace queen to 6 diamonds and king queen to 5 clubs and nothing else. And the point is, you've got the 2 aces covering the other suits. So bear in mind, ace queen to 6 and king queen to 5 is only 11 points. Okay, so the answer is what you bid. The question is what you bid. Well, 6 diamonds I think is a practical bid. I don't think it's ever going to be easy to find out exactly what your partner's got. Okay, because you'd want to agree diamonds. So I think 6 diamonds is a perfectly reasonable bid. and as it happens, we're missing the Queen of Trumps. That was my hand, if you remember it. And I went through the explanation that if you're going to bid this hand, if you are going to open it, I think they passed in the other room, but if you are going to open it, consider your bidding. And if you open that one club and then rebid 2 clubs, I don't think you should be opening it light. So I don't mind passing. So for me, it's either passing or it's doing what I've done, which is unusual. I only ever bid the suits in the wrong order with a 6-5 hand. So 5-4, I would never bid the suits in the wrong order. But with a 6-5 hand, where you're so desperate to bid both suits because you know that if you have any kind of fit, this hand is extraordinary. Those of you who count losers, it's a 5 loser hand, so you are desperate to find out if you've got a fit. So it's really, really important that you bid both suits. So I've bid a diamond, 2 clubs, and you can see why I bid 4 clubs. I have a spectacular hand, and that is what I wanted to get across to partner. Okay, and of course my partner got the message and bid 6 diamonds. As I say, I'd have probably bid the same way with the Queen of Diamonds as well, and then of course 7 diamonds is brilliant, but an interesting hand. And the key is take my 4 club bid seriously, and Pete did well on this hand. He definitely took it seriously. This was another hand that came up, and again relatively straightforward. 1 spade from south, 2 clubs overcall. Okay, and it comes to you here. So 1 spade, 2 clubs overcall. For me, I'm probably going to bid the same thing, playing both pairs and teams here, because again, you've got to trust your partner. But for me, 2 club bids, two level overcalls should be decent hands. I don't want my partner overcalling on less than 10 points here, because in a minor I expect him to jump to 3 clubs there. Okay, so with a weak hand with 6 clubs, I expect him to jump to 3 clubs, and if he's got a weak hand with 5 clubs, he shouldn't be bidding. So what could he possibly have for a 2 club bid? Well, he should have 6 clubs and a high card outside. Now, of course, though, that high card could be in spades, and it could be 3 no trumps is the right contract, but most of the time this hand is not unreasonable to say, partner, I want to play in 5 clubs. And bidding 5 clubs is perfectly reasonable, but why not try 4 spades? And for me, there's only one meaning of 4 spades in this auction. That is, I've got a void, partner, you judge what to do. Okay, I cannot know that, or I cannot feel that 3 no trumps is the wrong contract unless I've got a void. If I had a singleton spade, there's no reason to think the partner hasn't got a decent spade holding, and it might be right to play in 3 no trumps. The potential, if you move one of the diamonds into the spade suit there, the potential is completely changed. Here, this hand is aceless, but again, it's a 4 loser hand. So call it a 5 loser hand, but everything is saying 5 clubs, but 4 spades suggests 6. And of course, if partner happens to have a hand with 3 aces and a singleton, again, such a ridiculously powerful hand, he's going to be thinking of perhaps a Grand Slam. I think he knows there's a void, so 4 no trumps is perfectly reasonable here, just to check if we've got. And of course, if my King Queen of Hearts was the Ace of Hearts, you might have tried for a Grand Slam. Actually, you'd need the Ace King of Diamonds, wouldn't you? Okay. Interesting hand, and it was possible. It was very tight, and it might not have made. But Pete, I think, bid Blackwood on this one and then bid to 6 clubs, and we did make. So to bid 2 slams in one night, they were both on the same night. But again, you're taking it seriously. Okay, so 4 spades here, partner. I've gone past 3 no trumps. Take my hand seriously. And that is why West is bidding the slam, because you are taking your partner seriously. And the same on the previous hand. When your partner bids past 3 no trumps, take him seriously. And if it is wrong to be in 5 clubs or 6 clubs, it is not your fault. My 4 spade bid here has said, partner, I do not want to play in 3 no trumps. Notice here, without the diamond finesse, you will only make well, you might make 9 tricks in club, you know, because I think, and let's say they lead a heart, you'll make 9 tricks and you won't even bother taking the finesse. You'll make 9 tricks in no trumps. So if 5 clubs makes an over trick, you still beat it. So playing pairs, you're right to go for it. Can you see what I mean? So, but to make that decision, you have to be utterly sure. So all I needed to move is the diamond into the spade suit. I wouldn't be sure, and I would probably jump to 3 spades, which would be a normal splinter. And then my partner would make the decision. Here, I think he might still bid 5 clubs, though. With a bare ace opposite what professes to be a singleton, you know they're going to lead the spades. So you would not be sure that 3 no trumps was the best place to be. So you may well, with the 6th club, go for 5 clubs anyway. But the 4 space, to go past 3 no trumps, you've got to be absolutely sure. Well, you don't have to be. It's just that playing pairs bridge, particularly, it's 3 no trumps is the winner most of the time. And you'll hear me say it a lot. If one of your options is 3 no trumps, well then generally go ahead and bid it. And gambling on 3 no trumps works. Whereas playing the game with teams where 20s and 30s and 40s are not so important, you're happy to go for minors a little bit more. But nice to have so many minor suit slams coming up over the last 2 or 3 weeks. And in fact, I'm playing teams tonight, I should say. I don't think I mentioned that at the start, but we're playing teams tonight because I'm going off tomorrow. But I've recorded one for the week after. And lo and behold, another investigation for minor. I mean, again, I was playing teams, but it's interesting. It's not so well, you know, major suit slams come up enough. Let's be honest. And why shouldn't minor suits slams come up as much? It's just we don't bid them as much because we're not prepared to take the risk. But, you know, think about how many times you bid a slam in a major. Why shouldn't minor suit slams come up exactly the same amount? Oh, obviously, some of those might be able to be played in 6 no trumps, I should say. But, you know, it is interesting. Okay, let's go back to this one. Okay, so 2 hearts, 2 spades. And generally the view here, you've non-vulnerable against vulnerable is when you preempt, try to preempt once, because that puts maximum pressure on your opponents. Now, as long as you trust your partner, because a lot of people think, oh yeah, well I mean, the modern style is to open week 2s with 4 cards in the other majors, so I mean, that's what I do now. Well, it's not right. It's not right, and it's not just because you might miss a fit in spades. It's because your partner wants to know what to bid. You know, and if you know your partner has a maximum of 3 spades, you know the opponents have a big fit in spades, you know they're going to have distribution. For goodness sake, you've got 11 hearts between you. So if you bid 4 hearts here, your opponents bid 4 spades, and you then bid 5 hearts. Well, surely South is almost always going to bid 4 spades here. Not, I suppose you can imagine some hands he won't. Well, if he won't, North will probably think, well, I'll bid it anyway. You're going to bid 5 hearts. So you've taken the guess away. If they're able to bid 4 spades, let's say South bids 4 spades here. So you bid 4 hearts, it goes 4 spades past. North thinks, wow, partners bid 4 spades. And I felt, you know, I was a bit too strong, I thought, for 2 spades, but I decided to only bid 2 spades. He might wake up and bid a slam. Remember, if one of them has a void heart, which tricks are you making against their contract? So give your partner king, queen, jack to 6 hearts. And the hearts break 2-0. They don't lose any hearts. Maybe you make a diamond. Maybe, you know, if one of them, you know, doesn't have a singleton diamond, or they can't throw away all their diamonds on all their wonderful clubs. Okay, now partner might have another high card, but most of the time, at this vulnerability, I prefer him to be king, queen to 5, king, queen to 6, or king, queen, jack to 6, something like that. So, you know, for me, if I'm going to bid 5 hearts on the next round, why not bid it now? Now, it won't always work, but you're trying to put maximum pressure on your opponents. So here's the full hand. And on the hand, essentially they can make a grand slam by the look of it. Yeah, they've got 12 tricks off the top, but obviously they can ruff a heart. So they discard the losing diamonds. So 5 hearts makes it really tough to bid a slam here. I mean, we can see what happens. Let's just see if we jump to 5 hearts. South's bid 5 spades. I don't know what else South is supposed to bid there. Now, again, this is the point. Don't now bid 6 hearts. Yes, 6 hearts is a good sacrifice, but if I bid 6 hearts here, I have to be honest. With the north hand, I'd be thinking, well, I know my partner's got a maximum of 1 heart. You know, I think 6 spades is not a unreasonable shout. Now, I know you might be trusting your opponents, but I would feel that my partner's got 1 or 0. And in fact, in this auction, the jump to 5 hearts, you know, with the north hand, I might be thinking, is it worth a gamble? But essentially, you can bid 4 hearts if you want. But if you're always going to bid 5 hearts, if you don't want to bid 5 hearts, well then bid 4 hearts and be quiet for the rest of the auction. Would it make much difference here? I don't know, but it might go... The problem with jumping to 6 hearts, John, is you've taken their guess away. So I don't mind... I like 5 hearts. The problem with 6 hearts is that, well, to be honest, South may take the push anyway, because he's going to think, wow, all partners' points must... I mean, I think... But not only that, if 6 hearts gets doubled, you've given an extra 300 away. Whereas other people might... I mean, 5 hearts might win it. I mean, I've given South the void. If South hasn't got the void, and maybe, you know, it's a slightly tricky bid. I mean, if your partner could have had 3 spades, for example. If South has just 3 card spade support and a single or singleton or doubleton heart, I think it might be quite tricky. And you're just forcing them to guess. Here, I think, as it happens, South has got the void, and so probably is always going to bid. And I'm not sure over 6 hearts that South might not try 6 spades, to be honest. Yeah, it's funny enough. I was looking at this hand, Brian, and if I was going to bid the diamonds, I'd probably jump to 5 diamonds, but you'd have to have the agreement that your jump promises heart support. The problem for me with bidding 4 diamonds, if that's what you bid, is South can bid 4 hearts now. Can you see that? And that's a disaster. Because if you give South the opportunity to bid 4 hearts, which to me would suggest control there and an exciting hand, I think North is going to go for slam. So we're trying to avoid them bidding a slam. I think 5 diamonds, if you play 5 diamonds as promising hearts as well. Okay, bear in mind you're a passed hand, so some of you might just play 5 diamonds as a completely natural bid. But if you played 5 diamonds as promising hearts as well, then that isn't a bad bid. But again, maybe South bids 5 hearts over that. I think he might. Can you see? So I agree, Brian. I think I'd love to show the diamonds, but what's interesting here is given that you know that someone might have a void in hearts here, you desperately don't want them to discuss that fact. Because can you see with the North hand, North is looking at pretty horrible cards in the minors, sorry, in the red suits. But if North gets told his partner's excited, bearing in mind he's got ace, king, well, what has partner got? Partner's going to be short in hearts because the opponents have bid them, and surely has high cards in diamonds. So I think if South has the opportunity to Q-bid in hearts, either 4 hearts or 5 hearts, North will gamble on the slam. Okay. Over 5 hearts, 5 spades, North might be tempted, but the difficulty is 5 spades looks like it could be based on size of fit rather than necessarily strength. That's why South would love to be able to Q-bid. Okay. Over 4 hearts, South might settle for 4 spades anyway. You know, yeah, it's a tricky one, isn't it? And it depends how, but it's a vulnerable overcall. I mean, this is why it's so important you never preempt to preempt. It's important that South, if South knows that North has 6 spades in a decent hand, South might gamble 5 hearts over 4 hearts. But I think a lot of us might just bid 4 spades. But over 5 hearts, maybe you can either bid 5 spades or you pass, if that's a forcing pass. I don't know. But it gives them more opportunity to possibly find a slam. Okay, well, lots to talk about there. What do we finish with? Just again, I just want to remind you about the program, because I didn't quite tell you about that at the start. Just a quick reminder. So I'm doing the teams tonight, believe it or not. We're doing the teams tonight. I'm heading off in the morning to a cruise. The next 2 Fridays are recorded for those members. Monday, there's no Monday next week. And the teams on Wednesday week, I have recorded a teams match, which is against the computer, but it's compared to a match that was played in 2018 with actually mostly British players that were playing in it, but we'll see the scores they've got and we can see how we've got and how we compared to that match. Okay, here is your bidding quiz. 3 diamonds on your right. Everybody is vulnerable. 3 diamonds on your right. Everybody's vulnerable. And it's your turn to call. Okay, 3 diamonds on your right, and it's your turn to call. Remember, you get the answer for that on the website, whether you're a member or not, so please do. So enjoy that. Now, I will hopefully see some of you tomorrow on the cruise. Lots to come, but have a lovely 10 or fortnight. I'll be back, actually, the next live I'm available for. Remember, I'm live tonight, I should say, but the next live beyond that is in 2 weeks' time. Okay, 2 weeks' time, which I think is week 256, so we will continue talking about minors. But please do send in your slam hands. Okay, send in your slam hands, because I'm always interested in those. And if you've got some lovely minor suit slams, that will be lovely. And don't forget, I want you to try and bid more minor suit slams this month if you can. Okay, so I want you to be in 5 clubs getting a bottom deliberately this time. Does that make sense? So I want you to try, and by doing that a few times, then decide, oh, maybe we shouldn't have done it that time or whatever. Okay, so thank you very much for your company, and see you tonight if you fancy that. If not, later.